Today I'm going to show you how to use Photopea to create this framed effect with the floral inside of the text. We need to achieve this arched effect, and we cannot do that inside of Canva because their arch doesn't have the straight edges like this. So we're going to start in Photopea to do that. I'm going to click on New Project and make sure the size is 3000 by 3000 pixels at 300 dpi and create it. Click on the text over here, click on the screen. You can access the font right here in the top left. I've already uploaded College Block 2.0 from Creative Fabrica. Click on the direct selection to move it. When I first had it, I'm going to click on the text again and highlight the entire thing. When I first uploaded it, over here in the characters panel, it's set at 100, which is the default for the height, and it looked a bit squatty to me. So I went over here to the character panel and went to this drop down and increased it to 125. That looks better. And then I'm going to go to the warp button at the top, click on this, and go to arch. That is way too drastic. So decrease the bend. That looks good to me. Click the check. Okay, this is where we're going to go to File, Export as PNG. I want to make sure that it's a transparent background. So the way that we're going to do that, we're going to exit out of this. We are going to click on the lock icon here on this background layer and deselect the eye, and you will see that the background turns into this checkerboard, meaning that it's a transparent background. I selected the direct selection tool again, and I'm going to make sure that the graphic is in the middle. The red line will appear when it's centered, and then I'll go to File, Export as PNG. Make sure nothing is selected here and save. Come over to Canva. Go to Upload, upload it to your Canva, and pull it over. All right, so this is what we're going to be using to make the outline of this, but now we need to turn this into a frame that we can put any kind of floral pattern inside of. So that means we're going to come back over here to Photopea because that's where we do that. And we go to File, Open, that same PNG. You're going to, so the first one you'll see says PSD, the one you opened will say PNG. You're going to hold down Command if you have a Mac. If you have a PC, you will hold down Control, and you will click right here on this image. When you do, it selects the letters themselves, and you can tell that because it will have these little dancing ants around the letters. You'll go to the Paths panel and select down here the Selection to Path button. Then you'll go to Layer, Vector Mask, Current Path. And if you did it correctly, when you click on the Layers panel again, you will see a grayed out mask version of whatever text or image you had right here. That's all we need to do. Now we're going to go to File, Export as PDF. Make sure nothing is selected and save. We have to export it as a PDF. That is vital. You're going to add a second page over here and upload it. Pull it over, right click on it or double click and go to detach image. There it turns into a frame. So at this point we want to find our floral graphic from either Canva or from Creative Fabrica. Let me just type in watercolor floral seamless and see what comes up. Let's try out a few. That's kind of nice. But you see that once it's in there, you kind of lose the letters. So you really need the outline. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that original PNG that we have, and we need to decide what color we need it in. So if I want to do a blue outline, let's go to Edit, Shadows right here, under Effects, Outline, It defaults to black. Let's click on that. Let's try to do the deep blue like we see in our example. Like a deep blue that's a little bit more saturated, a little darker. Okay, and then you can adjust the size. I usually like to show a little bit of the white space inside of the A. And then we're gonna see if this will work, or we may have to go back into Photopea and just change the color from black to the outline color that we're doing. So that's what we're gonna see. Let's copy it and paste it on page 2. Let's position it directly behind our floral. Okay, so if it does this, that means that what you just put there jumped inside of the frame that you created. So undo it. You can do Command Z, Control Z, or undo up here. And when you're trying to position it, hold down Command and it will not jump into the frame. I know that can be annoying. And then position backward. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and see what we're working with here. So we really need to mess with it to make sure it's perfectly aligned. Make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. That doesn't look quite right. Okay, so let's say that you want to make sure that there's no blue, no black showing. Let's go back to Edit Effects on the shadow. If you're using Chrome, then you'll have an eyedropper tool that you can select. Sometimes I like to select the darkest color inside of it. So like this dark green could look really nice. Let's try to find that color. That's probably going to go with it better than that blue would. All right, so I'm going to go with that color, and then I'm going to grab this hex code. I'm going to go back to Photopea. Let's go to the little button, paste the hex code. Okay, and then we're going to hit the paint bucket tool and paint it. Okay, so I changed it to the color that I wanted, but I had to do it over here on the new PNG that we just vectorized, which is totally fine. I just don't know why that wouldn't let us change the color. Probably doing something wrong. So over here, we're going to go to File, Export as PNG. It's going to export as a transparent file. We're going to come over here and upload it inside of Canva. And then if I'm ever messing around trying like a secondary thing, I usually duplicate my page just so that I have that original if I need it. So I'm going to mess with this one and move that down. I'm going to select my new grandma graphic, and I think it should automatically be the same size as the other grandma one. Let's try to place it directly on top. Okay, position to the front. Then I'm going to get that one from behind, make sure it's right behind it so I can't see it at all. Go to Edit, Shadows, Outline. Change the outline to that same hex code, so I'm pasting it there. And then the size. Yeah, so I'm seeing an issue where the outline isn't a true outline. It's really going inward. So what I'm going to try to do is make it a 15 and see if I can make it the graphic larger to see if it'll just look correct. In Adobe Illustrator, you can outline the path, but I think this is still going to be an efficient workaround. Okay, let's try to decrease it a little bit because see how it's filling up that A quite a bit. Go to the shadows. Let's decrease that size. And now that I decrease it, I'm going to have to move it again. Just move it until it looks right. So this is looking good, but then on the right, it's looking too big. So I'm going to make it smaller. And that is looking a lot better. So here's your magic number. Go to Edit, Shadows. It's on 11. The outline is on 11. And that works. So then let's say you have, maybe this is going on like a light green comfort color shirt. If you have a blue shirt, you may have to make a blue outline for it. Yeah, so that's how you do it. That's how you can do it for free inside of Photopea instead of using Adobe Illustrator.